teams kind of, it's hard to kind of keep that mentality towards where we expect them to be, because it's gonna... Have you messed it up again? Oh, this is fantastic. This is great news. As it stands, we haven't got to really see these teams at their full strength yet. This is still somewhat new to an extent, right? Like, all of them had to get to this point, but it's hard to get that understanding of what they're coming in looking like against other pretty top-heavy, you know, tier 1 teams. So, we're jumping into this one. It will be Heretics on the defensive side and Vitality on the attacking side. And it looks like everyone's at boot camp, or as much as they can be. Obviously, with the world being what it is, it's hard to do that as it stands. But most teams trying to invest on building up that balance, and already a bit of a pinch towards that A site. You can see Emil the first to get a lot of attention over by Tribox, but actually comes out the victor towards Loki.
Yeah, actually, Shalabi will respond onto Alaranti, and Patadek now coming online, but the trade's coming through back and forth now. Brams find himself in a 1v2 situation. Lowell the first spotted. Monster still a little bit absent from this, so interesting to see Lowell actually take that 1v1. Paranoia now building. Monster makes his way up through double doors, but Bram's got an opportunity now. I think maybe even in earshot of that turret being placed, Lauren. At least now when he walks tube, he's going to hear it. He's going to know exactly where Monster is repositioned to.
Let's see now, that information will flow through. Let's see what Brams does with it, though. Could maybe take a fight there if he fancies, but timing is a factor. 26 seconds. And Ringarosi we go. Monster having to kind of gamble on where he may go. And it looks like he's gambled incorrectly. H3H3 is going to be on this as well. 13 seconds, and Brams now needs to get a wiggle on. He's just going to have to hope that he's, you know, a little further ahead so he can get a clean plant down. He'll be safe behind the pillar. Yeah, lovely. And that should be somewhat okay. Monster's got a bit of a problem now presented. How on earth do I get back into this? I have no information. He's got loads of time to sit into a post plant. Obviously, Brams doesn't know how much time. And for now, Monster gets to try and work his way back through.
So he will get his turret back online as well, but the clock ticking away. Clear out so many angles here. Turret will get invested on main, so at least he will get the information initially.
Wants to get to half.
Oh, he doesn't have to get to half.
Didn't get it halfway. Oh, that's devastating news for Monster. He didn't get the fight. Brams!
The blob didn't bloom. Look at it. It's going, Lauren.
Hypoc.
Oh, he missed it! No way! I thought he had it.
You brought your theory in, Hypoc. You brought it in.
The blob didn't bloom.
Okay, we need to discuss this, right? So there's a thing going around, and it's not just us messing up our microphones. But Hypoc, explain what you say.
Hey,
Talk to me.
In a moment of desperation, when I tried to explain this, and this is the perfect example of the fact we're going to see the replay. Hopefully, we'll see. There are two blobs, and when one of them blooms, that's when you can no longer get the... Watch it. There, see? That.
But you were wrong.
Well, this... Yeah, I mean, I was off by what? How far off was I? Look at that.
Outstanding stuff. So yeah, if you're ever in a game and you get someone who sounds a lot like Hypoc under a different name, won't out you, and he starts talking about blobs blooming, welcome to our world. It's difficult out here, but the double walk down tube's a bit mad, and it's worked out. Palutek's found Brams, and a bit of damage done as well off the back of that towards Shalabi too. So interesting approach being quite proactive. I mean, it was a close round, so why not get a couple of investments going, but interesting repurchase.
I'm glad I caught you off guard with that one, by the way. I was waiting for the opportunity to throw it on cast, but...
No, I know. I was really proud of you.
Woo! Woo! Okay. Vitality down to 3 now. Actually, we're going to get invested here. Loki spotted with that recon. We've got to be careful here. Send elsewhere. Going to find Pat and Lowell. We have to find a lot of space up tube, actually, and Milwa still going unnoted here. Going to find both shots onto Vac.
30 seconds.
Just Monster. Last man standing once again. Unscoped at the wrong time. Sender finds his fourth. We'll close that one out. Vitality will find the second round. Good start here for Vitality. A little, I got to say, it looking a lot more considered, really, in their approach. which is interesting, really. And I know the Death started to touch on this composition change, but this is the sort of thing I like to see. And again, we can take what we want away from that VAC interview at least, but this is the sort of adjustment you want to see, anticipating what Heretics are going to do in terms of play style and the way they're going to want to play. I actually like the swap here, to have this flex onto Raymer for Brams.
I'm down for it. I'm happy to see the Sky alongside. I'm always going to be a Sky fan, so Vitality get the tick in my book. They'll be looking to crunch towards B. That Killjoy's in a whole lot of trouble. Thought there might have been a bailout there by Valorant, but it's not to be. They're going to fall away from this. Good damage done initially. Looking to lean back towards B main, but there is still Monster here, but hey, welcome to having Reyna against you. Brams walks in, no problem for him. Spike now going to be going down, and these three so far away, these rifles feel redundant.
Absolutely right. So difficult again. Look at this setup here. Short of brute force, it's going to be so difficult to fight back on. Decent tag with a recon bolt, but already Loki manages to slip in behind. Actually, yeah, Miller and Low considering the save now at this point. Get away. Whether or not Loki's actually going to be able to find this kill, he doesn't know. Again, anything but a bonus. Anything else at bottom mid? Ooh, we'll find one. The second. No, VAC going to punish him. So a rifle removed and an upgrade there from the Marshal. So a big win, actually, round 3. Let's see if Heretics have anything really to scrape together in this round. And it's things like this, there's a big positive, right? You come off a draining series, like the desk mentioned, but to come back in and look very, very, calm and collected, right? Even in terms of these high-pressure scenarios here. And starting off on the attack as well. Again, it doesn't really leave you any breathing space, right? In terms of recovering from the previous series. But Vitality put their first 3 up. They're already making very, very good progress.
And it's good for them to come into this and just have a solid start, right? You talk about like the mental game. If you come in and you're already down, you're feeling like you got a slog on your hands. This is good. This keeps the momentum and the energy nice and high for Vitality. See that lean towards A. Now confirmed. Seeker's going out. Viper utility going in. They know everything's coming down this way. So what do they do with it? Flash going to go through. I don't think they found anyone close by, so they're at least somewhat certain there's no one in that little slice that's been created, but they're going to post up their newer edition. Shalaby's going to be left over there towards that A site, but it's Bram slicing through the middle, finding Laulan now going to cause problems. He will hold these rotations. There could have been a problem back for Alorante finding the same thing on the other side, but they've kind of run around him. Brams now elevates that problem, but look at this flank. This is a mad one for Monster. It's going to have to be big. It's going to be something beyond belief if he really wants to do damage. It isn't the gun to be doing it with, but I love that play back towards B, leaving, as said, Shalaby posted up towards that A site, and just catching the rotations and punishing with Brams being right between them, and Emil and Monster.
Placing swarm grenade.
No easy way back in, non-presenting opportunities. You can see these players sitting in very, very unfavourable situations. Monster did get a chance towards one, but not for long.
One enemy remaining.
Shalaby and VAC. Mill are down to 5 HP here. This is the first 2. We're going to shut down, and Vitality, the wind in their sails. 4 rounds unanswered now, and again, you look at the scoreboard, and it's not much separated. This is just coming down to some very, very clean-cut rounds here.
One enemy remaining.
Looking for Heretics to switch things up a little bit here, trying to aggress in the mid-round, at least, because Vitality are playing very, very slow, very calm. Really, not giving Heretics any information to react upon here. Again, walk up B. I'm actually a much quicker look.
Yeah, Monsters this time going to be presenting a different challenge. Loki quickly trying to get towards the side, but he's playing that corner, that little cubby so well. Lau's got his back too, but it's Bram still alive, and if Brams is alive and kicking, There's still a problem to be potentially had. Shalaby's going to find Elorante, but it's still Monster playing the pillar so well. The flash comes in, he's ahead of it. No problem for him playing it so well. Monster finally gets that moment to strike. He'd been bullied until that point, but brilliant work there.
The pace change actually from Vitality favors Heretics. Embrace that chaos, allow Monster to thrive in it. Finds himself a 4K. Holding down the B site. You could call it a double bonus from Vitality. Again, throw that one in there, but he's done so well here. Again, the cloud bursts actually give him a get out of jail free card.
Down B.
And that second guy didn't even notice it there. The spike actually falls on front side there. So again, finding that follow-up kill onto Vac as well, Lauren, means that that round's all but done.
I thought it was getting two then. I thought Sender was on for the second. Not to be, but there's Loki watching the fallback plan as well. Monster tries to get a little aggy again. Maybe feeling himself after the previous, but gets instantly swatted down. And this 4v3 feels pretty nasty. Look at Shalaby, just a little further ahead than before. If they hit the brakes for a second, and Lau goes walkabouts, that might open up a chance here. And there it is. Shalaby does find Lau. Very nicely done. Seek has now come through. Going to find those last two players, knowing that crossing towards the site is safe. Emil trying to re-aggress towards middle. There's his Seeker. Gives away the game. And Patty Tech, he's going to be shot in the back if he's not careful. Beautiful. Vitality looking pretty much revitalized at this point. I'm loving what they're bringing. It looks so well-rounded.
I mean, this is way more comfortable than the previous series from today. That's for sure. Definitely striking while the iron is hot, so to say. I was desperately looking actually just to see. It was obviously the first half Vitality were on the defense versus NIP, and I only managed to scrape together 4. It was obviously on the attack that they were able to build back into that previous map. Here, opening things up with a 5-1 scoreline. And speaking of opening things up, low key, find Patitek off the rip as soon as the barrier drops.
Yeah, and you will see Lau uncomfortable. The pressure's starting to become pretty smothering. Flash close to make sure no one's playing the edge of the smoke. They're through. Vitality have a really nice plan, a beautiful approach on taking this site. They're just so hyper-aware of where they need to be and what's the next threat potential. And if Heretics don't find a way to disrupt this, why would they ever stop? Now, the retake's not looking too bad, though. Elorante at least got them off to the right step. Monsters follow up towards Shalaby, and now a 3v2. But look at the ultimates. Hypok, look at how much they have to play with if they need to. Vac's got his. Bram sure can pop his anytime. That doesn't really bother me. And yeah, he's just chilling. Why not? I mean, beyond that, yeah, Lau's got his and Monster's got his, but I want to see if they can find the way to use them. But look at Sender, sending it around the world. The timing's everything. His patience must be his virtue. Finds one, sits in deep now. Should allow his teammate to get the attention, which will be Vac as soon as that spike gets touched. He'll just swing on out. Doesn't need to face. He does regardless. Vac's got it, and Vitality, once again, the composure is perfect.
It is, yeah. And like you said, with the way these rounds are playing out, all these tools, all of these, you know, secondary layers to the security that Vitality have in this post-plant scenario, those ultimates, untouched. The Empress, like you said, throw it in the mix if you want. Yeah, and Heretics going to put the brakes on right now, trying to stop the bleeding, I guess. Even though it's not up on screen. I'm not a gambling man, but I'd say this is probably a Heretics timeout.
Gambled no good.
Well, would you look at that?
Oh, would you look at that? I do open up the question. So, if you're familiar with the likes of like Issa or some of the players from certain regions that obviously during the online era struggled a little because obviously ping's higher generally, right? And it's like, for me, I want to look at Shalaby when he gets to LAN, for example, what this guy can become, because he's already pretty nasty, right? As a roster addition, I really love what he's bringing. I think he's a great choice. We saw what he did at LAN when he went out to the Red Bull event, which was pretty solid. But, against the big boys. That's no disrespect to the teams that are out there. They were fine, but they weren't, you're not pushing the top 5 in the world, right? I want to see how this guy looks once he's up against the real deal on LAN as well. If this he's playing with training weights on right now, which is crazy to me. So We'll see how he fares going forward, but at a 6-1 scoreline, nothing to be worried about here. Looking comfortable in Heretics. What is the change? Something has to change.
It does. Like I said, that only round victory they had was on the back of Vitality kind of breaking the mold. Trying to switch things up in terms of the tempo. All right, look at this space Brams is able to find. A monster. Wise to it initially, but okay, finally let's get that kill now, and a 2-man advantage here early on for Heretics.
Maybe the switch up they needed. It's still Vac, Sender, and Shelby who can maybe do something. No ult for Shelby this time yet. Let's see what they do. Where are they heading back to? Maybe re-aggressing towards middle. Look to see if they could punish potentially Alorante if they go towards door. Be next on the chopping block. Oh, he's fine. Very stable. They seem aware of this. Sender him back now. Trying to take that time to cross. Not feeling so safe. And we haven't really seen much of a test towards A just yet. Let's see how they fare. Emil just fine on his test. However, Patchtech not looking so good on his. But at this point, you're down to Vac. This would be, you know, a 1v basically 5 at this point. 20 seconds. Does have ult. No one should be presenting an easy kill here. And you can see the net being closed in. And this should be... Oh, Heretics, come on, let's get over the finish line. There it is. Finally get him down. 4 still stand.
In that timeout, it's always good to see a team bounce straight back out with a round victory. Now, got to build on that. Again, chipping away at the economy. That one should leave Vitality still sitting... I mean, comfortable is an understatement. See what this means here. Still got the Viper's Pit, still got the Hunter's Fury. Shalabi one off those Seekers as well. The other side of things, lockdown available, Empress, Patchtech, that TP. Have to wait and see though. It's always interesting to look at it. Again, you can lean away from one site and play the lockdown as a retake, but again, Breeze, a map that we've discussed previously, it's very difficult to do so just with the AoE of that ultimate. Can't really lean on that as the go-to. Alorante holding onto tube control. Bram's just staring down the other side of that smoke. Patchtech relaying that information on the back of that TP. Your fact finder sent out.
I've got your trail.
They should be able to react based on... Oh, as I say that... Oh, no. It's not good. Look at that.
Nope.
The operator comes through. The Owl Drone tag comes through. The Hunter's Fury kill comes through. Brams finds Lowell. It's Monster left standing. This is... I mean, I hate to speak early, but this is looking like potentially Vitality running away with this half. Now, I'm considering the economy, the knock-on effect from this. It's not a pretty half-time score.
No, it's not. And, certainly not going to fill you with confidence. You know, you're going to start feeling that pressure pretty early on. And as, you know, I think it was Tom and Mitch, as they normally do, cackling in the background, talking about this being a long series. You know, it may just be, but if Vitality keep this sort of pace up, I don't know.
Got your trail.
Revealing area.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is, again, Vitality are just kind of doing the same thing over and over, right? Mm-hmm. Heretics, I look towards them to be the ones to be proactive here.
Don't care.
They can't sit as deep as they are.
There has to be a change, right? Like, that's, I'm literally sat here waiting to see. Now we have that double stack coming through by elbow that could be interesting. Yeah, okay, they're pressuring middle. I like that. However, they just lost to Brams. I mean, it's Oh god, Brams has just battered them. I mean, it's a good idea, right? The theory, I don't mind. It's the execution. You still have to land your shots. That's still going to be the kind of, you know, bottom line to it. It's not just how you hit your shots, it's the concept behind it. But Vitality, all too aware that that could have been the switch up, all too aware, all happy to take it. And now keep in mind, they've been holding, I don't want to call it a default, it's just like a spread across the map. Loki just going to flex a little there, find Paddy Tech. Just to try to dip back around through that door. And again, they've barely left their initial spawn, right? They've barely crossed that halfway marker on the map. They haven't made it through towards either side, and they've gone 3 picks. I get the aggression, it has to be correctly placed, because right now Vitality read that as the next level of adaptation, right? They're already expecting maybe a bit of aggression here and there as the counter. Oh, that's a freebie all day of the week. Loki takes that, no problem. And again, they're at the moment, it looks like Heretics are playing checkers and Vitality are playing chess. They're in a different realm to them. And as I said, the answer so far hasn't quite hit. But I haven't seen them too much with Emil. I haven't seen how far they've been able to kind of, you know, find that comfort for me. I haven't seen that much of Heretics. I'm dipping into some of the streams, seeing how they're looking. But at the moment, this is a bit of a blowout.
This isn't looking like them. I can say that much. From at least what I've seen, this is uncharacteristic. Maybe Vitality, I mean, coming away from that series earlier, had all the tools to say, yeah, well, let's roll with Breeze. Let's get straight back on the horse. Again, I mean, look at the purchase here. It's 8-2. And actually, it's a Mashiko. I was about to call it a Shiko. It's a Mashiko. It's a Mashiko.
See how the Mashiko does. Oh, there you go. Well, now, Valorant. I don't know why I always want to say it like that. I really don't know why. I have such a hard time every time I read that name to not say it like that. And I take this lightly because, well, we haven't really seen the Mushiko yet really find much form. Theoretically, of course, it's great. You tag and the other can do pretty much the same sort of damage and you can just kind of chip away at them. The chip damage eventually comes through, but I haven't seen too much yet. Bram, so much space, and Monster's going to have to have the adjustment of his life. Oh, okay, maybe not. Maybe nice and easy because the barrel's bigger than expected. And Monster looking ready for the follow-up. Sender's now been found. It's looking gorgeous so far. Vac and Loki's like, well, my gun's meant to be bigger than yours. Why are you doing so well? He's got the low-fat version of it. Still doing nicely enough, but there you go. Loki kind of flexing what his can do. Because Lau back of the side needs to just try and stay alive. Stay and live for those rotations to come in. If he can pick one off, that wouldn't be bad.
Loki caught a headshot there on the way in. Vac taking some damage as well, so...
It's a 2v2 now, though.
Yeah, 2v2, and look at the health advantage.
But the rifles have come through, so that could be interesting. Now, they've got 20 seconds. Loki, if he just pushes this.
I mean, I love this. I love this.
it. You're not going to win normally, are you? This is a nice angle. But is it good enough to get you 2? Look at the HP left. Vac is barely... What? What is that, Panitek? He just floods on in like it's nothing, and now Alarante's like, well, I know someone was near, one's on the side, but where the hell's Loki gone? That's a 1v. Whoa, no way!
Oh, my word.
It's a tilter.
The Shiko giveth, the Shiko taketh. That... Yeah. That's gotta rattle you.
Mental's in the bin.
Yeah. That is not a round you should ever let slip through your fingers.
Because you're loving it at this point, right? You've seen this happen, like monsters popping off. We've got everything in the right place. We've got, like, you know, we've got the rifle upgrades, even in that 2v2 at the end. Panitek just flies in, untradeable. You got to take a risk, but you want it to be tradable. There was nothing for it. It's got to be gutting for them. First real shot at it in quite some time, and falls by the wayside. Here comes Reyna, and there goes the other Reyna. Loki puts him to bed, tucks him in, little kiss on the forehead, night-night. And the site's all theirs. Spike en route. There is still the Killjoy lingering around. Monster this time again. He can't escape it.
Viper's pick comes through. He's going to find the plant. Actually, that's massive.
That's sick.
Can they recover?
Let's see. Monster speed. He's been putting in OT right now. This guy is putting in work. Deserves a raise at this point, but it is just 3 of them. The HP's still looking good. And Loki, yeah, he is low HP, but Hogan's Law still applies. Monster just waits. Just holding. He's going to hear the reloads. He knows they're close. That's still valuable, but the numbers still favouring Vitality here.
Emil can get Hunter's Fury, though, on the back of one more kill. That's a big tool. Shalabi going to take a lot of damage from the shock darts, but he will not fall. Flashback on unavailable for him. Sent out. Nobody actually swung away there, so I'm not sure if he actually got any information on the back of that one, Lauren.
Not really. Nothing you could build off of. Just going to take space here. Finds the isolated player on the site, and now we're down to the 2v2. Post-plant not so easy. As Emil still going to have to work for this. Gets just bodied. And Paddy Tech presented a hard task. Unfavorable positions for him to try and dissuade, and there it is. Vac finds him, and Vitality again. The composure's there. They're so focused.
It is, and again, I know I was talking about round score earlier in terms of this half switch. That round there is the difference between, potential and lost cause. Okay, because double digits, it's just a matter of time, right? You wait for that first ultimate cycle to build through. I mean, unless Heretics just unbind S and walk for this half and just keep pushing, I don't see any scenario where Vitality don't close this out convincingly. Everything's playing to their strength right now.
And I think, again, I don't want to take this away from Brams necessarily, but I also want to talk about the difference of just having a Reyna who's confident, just generally. You have just like, I think Reyna can be applied to so many. Exactly. That's the year where you see it on Icebox, you see it on so many maps, and again, Brams showing you as to why. Gets in, gets away. You can do that. If you're having a player that's good for one, they're going to be good for the second. It's why I always love the idea of Scream being on it, right? Like, I actually love that concept. Never really came through in the same sort of way, but I love the idea. It is a 4v4. It's certainly not over yet for Heretics. I don't need to start speaking too much about bigger picture, but Brams has been having a series, which is great, or a map thus far. And now, let's see what they do with this. Still have to get past Brams on site. They do overwhelming numbers. Vac now outgunned as well. They just take the straight-up fights in this one. That's going to be a spike plant, though.
Spike planted.
Indeed. Cinder and Loki have to try and recover this one. As I say that, Cinder finds the first, the second. No way. Alarante's up close as well. He's going to get spotted out. He takes the headshot. What is this, Lauren?
How's this happened? How is Monster left with this?
What was that? Yep. Fair play, Loki. I'll give you that one. What on earth was that retake? I mean, yeah, we talked about rattlers, tilters. There's another one.
GG go next?
Yep, GG go next. I'm hitting F5. I'm typing /FF. I'm hitting my F5 key at this point.
Oh, the timeout. It's when everyone's a bit quiet and you're not quite coming up with the discussion you wanted. Nothing... What are you meant to do in this? As you said... Oh, you're just feeling winded watching it, aren't you? Because I thought, this is it.
There's no contingency to any of these. What if somebody jumps out and peeks stairs?
There's no trade on it. There's no crossfire on it. It's just...
I love seeing rounds like that, but at the same time, I hate seeing rounds like that. Because it's just like... Yeah, okay, write it off.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Right off the map, honestly.
Even when I was a player, this is going back years. This is when I was good at games.
About decades.
Literally. You don't win 2v5s, 2v4s.
No.
You lose 4v2s, right? Like, you make those errors. That's the thing. You don't allow people... It's so hard to somehow get around that many potential crossfires, that many potential positions, to kind of somehow capitalize on unforced errors to that extent. I don't think you can.
But just coming before that, Laura, the biggest thing is Cinder finds the headshot onto whoever that is on back triple, right? At that point, Alarante and whoever's on stairs, they both should just be watching nothing else than setting up that crossfire. Nothing.
100%. And it's frustrating. It's communication. When we talk fundamentals and things like that, it's that synergy you get.
Exactly.
And when you see teams with it and without it, it's hard to characterize sometimes. You're like, well, what makes the difference? Because they just have those crossfires in place. They have that contingency, that next level to it, that next step to it. Right now, Loki's got every single step to this. 2 huge kills back to back, looking for his third. Come on, go for it. You're feeling yourself. Why not? You're on 11-2. Emil has to back away. Respect it. He can't get away from it. Shalabi wants in. He gets it done. Good work. And confidence builder for that man again. Keep in mind, newer addition to the roster. He's still trying to figure it out. Feel comfortable in this sort of level with these teammates. And he's slotting in well.
We're on map point already. It feels like we're barely out of the commercial break from the previous series.
I know.
Heretics, again, no real surprise. Not an awful lot in the bank. Spectres no real progress towards ultimates. I mean, Alorante 2 away from the Empress, but about it. Gonna be a fairly cut and dry round here in terms of ultimates, actually, on the side of Vitality as well.
That headshot it was. It was
they
a
both
passing
headshot
gift.
at each other. Yeah.
Brilliant. Shalabi now trying to make what he can out of the Spectre. Bit of a sting on the corner of that. Alorante going to back away. We have is this 4v3 Spike en route slowly because of the space that Lau's managed to find him, but Sender seems all but aware. Oh yeah, he's definitely seen him now, and that could maybe throw a bit of a spanner in the works here for Heretics. Trying to make it through with less, two of them. Oh, marshaled up, doing whatever they can. That was a little bit lazy from Brams just to trundle on in. Spike now down and a 2v3 begins. Now keep in mind Sender's low enough that this becomes a problem.
It does. Whether or not... Yeah, another status on Vac. At least 10 seconds left on that recon. Now 29 HP, swinging through with a Spectre. It's about as easy as they come, and Sender will seal the deal. Monster falls, the defuse will come through. Vitality will close out 13-2 on Breeze, Lauren. That is... not sure if actually